You can already tell it's no good.
Yeah, because
I am assuming
he doesn't have any shiny
this one was the
special
heavy one though, so I can tell. We're starting off hot with Mr. Mime from Calaria. I don't know any of these.
What are these Pokemon?
Who are these people? Hello YouTube, this is Naman. Welcome to my channel. Joaman. Jack of all, master of none. Because trade requires that I make money. Trade requires that I earn for the things that I want to get involved in. All the things that I want to get involved in. Yeah, it's just jack of all. No trade. Jack of all, master of none. Fear of missing out. In this video, I'm going to discuss how FOMO has infected me this year. And I'm going to discuss how I attempt to get rid of it, okay? Attempt. I think everybody noticed it. During the pandemic, hobby activities skyrocketed, right? Whether you're collecting stamps, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Pokemon cards, comic books, vinyl records, hobby activity has skyrocketed and it has become a huge seller's market for a whole bunch of different things. Very first video I talked about comic book. Let me find it. Very first video. There it is. How not to be a collector. In that video, that's what, about 2 years ago I think. In that video I talked about how I got ripped off with this comic book. No barcode, you know, reprints of reprint. And someone talked me into exchanging it with the old couple of Spider-Man comic books. Talked about that. Oh, Bill the Vinyverse. He has a real comic book. Real. Is that 35 cents or 30 cents? 35 cents. That might be a reprint too. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But his is more original than mine, at least. That's worth a lot of money if it's original. Anyway, you'll see in this video how I handle comic books 2 years ago. I collected comic books, and he did give me these really bad shape Spider-Man comic books, older. You know, these are like 70. I collected since 74, 75. These are like, you know, from 1966, and I go, wow, that's cool. I get to have something from 1966 at the time. Well, after watching all these professional collectors, comic book collectors, professional ones, that's not how you treat your comic books. You bag and board it. But you know what this is like? This is like closing a barn door after a horse escaped. After a horse bolted. These are in very poor condition. This one right here, if it's in mint condition, $31,000. You know why this is $31,000 and this even earlier comic book is $11,000? Because this guy right here, Shocker, he appeared in a movie. I mean, he didn't even have a big part, but because of a first appearance, this comic book is highly sought after. Even though this guy is a better villain, A grade villain, I think this is like third appearance only, you know. So 1100 in mint condition. These maybe 2.0 out of 10. The mint is 9.8, right? So maybe they'll go for $20, $30 maybe. Not much. But you know, to be fair to myself, I did get this in a poor condition to begin with. So, and I did put it in a bag, just that they were in a bigger bag with maybe 10, because I couldn't afford a boarding like this with an individual bag like this when I was a kid. So I'm always late to the game. I started watching these guys about a month ago. These comic book experts, you know. I mean, I think this was made, this video, when I bought this Superman comic book because I want to study Japanese art. But ever since then, these guys start popping up. And I start watching them, and I'm going, oh, wow. I know what movies are like. I know how that might influence people. Because I do remember having X-Men issue 101 at the time. First X-Men movie came out. So I dig it out of my box and I go, wow, this might be worth something. At the time, I don't remember it being worth that much. So I put it aside and I lost that comic book. I want to see how much that X-Men 101 costs. It's going for, last time it sold for $5,750 on May 2021. And people right now are, there's a whole bunch on eBay that you could bid on these, right? So yeah, when the first X-Men movie came out, I pulled it out and it wasn't worth that much. I put it somewhere and I lost it. It would have been about as good as condition as this one is. I said this is about 9.0. So this is worth a little bit of money, I think, maybe $100. But that 101 would have been like $1,000 at this condition. But I told myself, I was watching this, I'm going, oh man, I can't get involved in this. I could buy cheap comic books, speculate, they call it speculate on comic books. Like, for instance, let's say they're projecting Red Sonja movie to come out, right? If I buy it $2 and then the movie comes out, this will just skyrocket, you know, speculate. Like those GameStop investors, you know, GameStop investors. Maybe I could just become rich like that. You know, fear of missing out. But I decided, I came to the game too late. I'm not a good collector. And there's already people knowledgeable in this game. And this is a seller's market, not buyer's market. If I buy now, I'm buying at high price. My FOMO, even at this time, was just warming up, okay? But it boiled over when I went to visit Rod. old comic book store. It's going to turn into a record store and antique shop. Huh? Wow.
Has some old records in it already. And there's Craig. What up, Craig?
Craig, hello. How are you? You're getting filmed. When I went to visit his warehouse, where he works at, and saw just boxes and boxes of comic books, I go, oh my gosh. Why me? Why not? I could do something with this. But there's an old Korean saying, a cake in the painting. What does it mean? Cake looks good in a painting, but you cannot eat it. Craig knew it was a seller's market. So he had no incentive to, I'll go, oh, can I have these things? They're cheap. And I saw him do the auction, and he was getting good price for them. So, but I think he has a very short window of time where he can do that, because this hyped up market was a result of a perfect storm. Pandemic, people having plenty of time, no movies, and so hobby life became part of their life, and stimulus checks, unemployment checks, extra money, not spending money elsewhere. So these guys became hyped up, and then you got all these streaming services competing for your time, trying to make all these superhero movies and whatnot. Once the market opens up, people will have less time for hobbies, and probably less money too, because I feel like we're running on empty right now, the whole society. So it will be a short window, and but I'm sure he'll be able to handle that. As for me, how am I going to handle this FOMO? Three things I'm going to do. One, still collect comic books like I used to collect them, for story, art, and don't get involved in hype comic books. Buy affordable comic books and cheap ones. Even if they are new, buy them. Don't look for those grails, right? Two, get to know my own collection. Rod, just recently made a video where he was randomly pulling out 3 albums to listen to from his own collection. Because, your collection gets so big, you're not listening to your own collection. You don't get to enjoy your own collection. Well, I got 500 comic books. I got plenty to go through right now. So my mind would be off for new stuff. 3, learn how to preserve these comic books. I got this for Father's Day gift. Lot of lighting here. CGC 9.0 grade. CGC is an independent company that grades comic books, encapsulates them into this hard plastic, some information about them, certifications, and they also clean them, like these white areas, and press them so the wrinkles and whatnot gets removed. All those cost fee, of course. I think $22 for small volume users, for grading it, $15 for cleaning it. So what? I don't know. That's some $40. $40 plus the shipping and handling, both ways. Way to package them and all that. They have a specific way to package it so when they receive it, they receive it in good condition. $40 to $50 to grade it, clean it. If cleaning it need to be done, and my kid offered me to pay for those grading, sending it to CGC, a few of my comic book, and that would have cost them like $100, $200. And I said, no thanks, guys. First of all, if I do send it, I'm not gonna receive this back because they are so backed up. So many people are doing this. It will take 3 months to get it back. Sorry guys, no, don't do that. It's a waste of money. This one was selling on eBay for $59. Just buy me this, guys. One of my favorite comic book, Superman number 300, retelling origin story according to 1980s. You know, I'll go more in depth on this comic book in later videos. But I also told this story before. But anyway, I upgraded my comic book that I have. So that's my reader's copy. And this is something I put on the wall. I mean, $50 plus. Basically, a comic book itself cost me $5, $10 maybe, after all the, grading costs to encapsulate it and everything like this. So yeah, so I got this, and this comic book, Marvel, is always hyped. DC is not hyped, and Superman lately is not hyped up. So they're not hyping the price of this comic book. So I say, buy comic books that are not hyped. Buy comic books from dollar bin or $2 bin or whatever, even if they are new or old. So getting to know my own collection. Well, again, I got 500 some comic books that I need to get to know. I'm going to combine that with preserving my own collection. If I get to know my own collection, then I know how to preserve it. I made my own slab. I'm going to make a video about this. Making your own slab. I made my own slab. Plastic. All the information here, so I get to know about this comic book. I'm going to go through it once, read it, make sure inside is clean, make sure outside is clean. I need to figure out how to clean it first. I'm going to figure out how to clean, and I'll explain why I think this is a way of pressing too. But my own slab. So I'm doing the preserving. I think this is much better than preserving comic books in a bag and board. And you don't get to see the backside. You get to see backside on this one. Yeah. So comic book collecting is in my view, poor man's way of collecting art. I'm not a rich man, so it's just poor man way of collecting art. And all these hyped up things make it rich man's hobby, not poor man's hobby. I want to make it poor man's hobby again. Anyway, till next time. I'm out.